Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, former RGD boss Charlton McFarlane, now compliant with the law, says Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission has indicated that former head of the Registrar General's Department, Charlton McFarlane, is now compliant with the law after he paid the fines and submitted outstanding income and asset declarations. One of the matters, Charlton McFarlane has been concluded. Director of Corruption Prosecution, Keisha Prince Kamiko, told the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee of Parliament at a meeting on Wednesday. McFarlane was charged for failing to file statutory information by April 13, as required by a notice of the Integrity Commission Act. He incurred a fine of $200,000. He was also charged with 4 counts of failing without a reasonable cause to furnish the Commission with a statutory declaration for periods ending December 31, 2022, December 31, 2021, December 31, 2020, and December 31, 2019. Payment ensured imprisonment was avoided. McFarlane pleaded guilty to the charges at a hearing in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on April 30. Prince Kamiko told the lawmakers that the outstanding declarations have also been submitted. The issue came public after the IC submitted a report to Parliament in April in which it recommended the charges against McFarlane. Opposition legislator Julian Robinson suggested that the IC should issue updates to the Parliament on cases that have been resolved. In the court of public opinion, having had that issue over his head, without more, the public would know that the matter has been resolved. In a case like his, you trade on your reputation, quite frankly. I believe if he has satisfied everything that you have asked of him, and he has also dealt with the court matters, I think it is important to indicate, he said. Committee Chairman Edmund Bartlett said, I totally agree. McFarlane's tenure as RGD's Chief Executive Officer ended on May 2. School administrators urged to make graduation ceremonies accessible to all students. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams is urging school administrators to make graduation ceremonies accessible to all students, noting that they are pivotal events that mark the end of one chapter and the beginning of another for the youngsters and their families, among others. She said these ceremonies hold a great sentimental value to Jamaicans, and it is important that they are memorable and inclusive for all who participate. In light of this, I am calling on all school boards and administrators to be mindful of the cost that they ask parents to bear in order for their children to participate in graduation ceremonies. I know many schools use external vendors to provide the gowns and the caps, the photos and other services. We ask that our principals negotiate as hard as they can with the vendors, and to the vendors we say, consider the pockets of the parents, Williams said. While this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the students, they will never graduate primary school or high school again. We do not want it to be a financial burden on families who may have more than one child graduating, she added. Consequently, the minister encouraged the vendors, whom she described as stakeholders in education, to assist the families by offering affordable packages to schools. She was addressing Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing at the Jamaica House. Williams said it is the ministry's goal for all students to experience graduation so that their journey and accomplishments can be celebrated. We don't want graduations to be used to exclude. It is crucial that we are mindful of the financial constraints faced by many of our families and the difficulties and embarrassment it poses when students are not included in graduations, the education minister maintained. Williams charged the school administrators to work towards creating memorable, inclusive and meaningful ceremonies that honor students' achievements without placing undue financial strain on families. Nothing else suitable, says TAJ amid $1 billion retrofitting plan for leased building. Commissioner General of Tax Administration Jamaica, Ainsley Powell, says the agency was unable to find a suitable location for its tax offices in Manchester, which has so far resulted in taxpayers shelling out nearly $500 million in a lease arrangement. Mr. Powell, who appeared before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament on Tuesday, shocked the country when he disclosed it will cost the taxpayers close to $1 billion to retrofit a leased property in Mandeville, Manchester to provide services to the public. Mr. Powell told the committee that $451 million has already been spent to lease the building, which will not be occupied until September 2025. He said the bidding process for the refurbishing works will close on Wednesday. When asked by PAC Chairman Julian Robinson whether the TAJ had considered purchasing its own property due to the massive cost associated with the leased facility, Mr. Powell said the current building was the only suitable property identified by the agency.
When we started out, we had actually pursued the acquisition of property, which we were not able to find suitable property within the confines of Mandeville. We were seeing things on the outskirts, but we were conscious of the fact that for some taxpayers, it would mean, two transport to get to anything outside of the town. We didn't find anything suitable. We also looked at other properties, and in Mandeville we did not. Two of the constraints that affected us would have been park, and we weren't finding the square footage or the acreage that would allow us, if we were to build out, to have the kind of parking that we need for our service. And that was how we ended up in this arrangement.
The Minister of Finance is to issue a statement on the TAJ matter. This was disclosed by Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon at Wednesday morning's post-cabinet press briefing.
I don't have all of I know it's a good question that you're asking, and I just saw the reports last night too, and I have been in contact with the Minister of Finance and the TAJ team. They have noted that they will be putting out a briefing, a press release that will give more details in terms of the details of that procurement activity. I do not have the details as yet. When I do get them, I will be able to answer any questions, and the TAJ team is also ready to answer questions. So as I get more information, I'll be able to give you more answers in relation to the TAJ matter. And obviously it's a procurement issue.
Man wakes late at night to find the other man in his bedroom. 23-year-old Jerome Bruce of Boston District St. Elizabeth has been charged with burglary and larceny following an incident in Coral Spring, Trelawney on Wednesday, May 22. Reports from the Duncans police are that about 11 p.m., a man was asleep in the living room of his house when he was awakened by a noise. When he woke up, he saw a man standing in his room and he called out to him. The man then made his escape through a balcony door. Checks were made and the Canadian $300 was missing from the householder's wallet. A report was made to the police, and on their arrival, the CCTV cameras were reviewed, which reportedly showed Bruce coming from the balcony. He was subsequently arrested and was charged on Friday, May 25. His court date is being finalized. Bills will now be enacted in authority of Jamaica's parliament. In a step in the constitutional reform process, the government on Tuesday amended Section 61 of the Constitution. Bills will no longer be given effect in the name of the British monarch, but rather the authority of the Parliament of Jamaica. Section 61 of the Constitution speaks to the words of enactment, which indicate the source of authority for the making of laws. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahou-Fort says that the adjustment indicates the government's commitment to doing away with the monarchy.
Any reference to the sovereign is a reference to the sovereign for the time being, but that did not mean that we could change the actual words in the Constitution. But more importantly, what we have done and what we are in the process of completing is to have every act of Parliament commencing with the words, where appropriate, be it enacted by the Parliament of Jamaica by and with the advice and consent of the Senate and the House of Representatives.
Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.